we are driving about 45 minutes away from our house to take the milk that we're going to donate to another family. And so I was thinking about some stuff. Like I said, it's a bittersweet thing. I'm just letting myself process, just to, let myself think my thoughts and feel my feels. And I was thinking about this one time I was at a group work camp. It was the second year that I went to group work camp, and one of the leaders in our group, she was a social worker in her job, in her rest of her life. And we were in the house that we were working on and the family that we were serving. One day, all of these bugs started coming out of the wall. And when we got back in the car to go back to where we were staying, she had a meltdown because she hated the bugs and everything. But she said it was a thing that she had learned to do where, you serve the people that you serve, and then you kind of have your feelings afterwards, so you're not disrespectful to them, or not making it about yourself in the moment. And I was thinking about something I wrote yesterday in my blog about how when Isaac was born, well, what I wrote about specifically was that I was determined to be present for his funeral services, his baptism and funeral services, and so I was going to fall apart afterwards, and I was going to be present during those beautiful services, and I had plans to lose my shit afterwards. And through the whole thing with his birth, we found out on Wednesday morning that his heart had stopped, that he had died already. So I feel like I was really given a gift to be able to get through everything we needed to do to get him born. I feel that I made it through that really pretty well for how awful of a circumstance it was. The worst day of my life when we found out that he had died, and knowing that there would be a lot more pain to go through to get him born without the hope that you get to see your baby smiling back up at you, or looking back up at you at the end of labor like you do for living babies. So there was just a lot of questions, a lot of things that had to be figured out. And so I think that I was able to do that because the gift you're given in that circumstance is to be able to focus on what needs to be done. So I couldn't lose my shit completely at that point. I had to get through a lot of stuff, and so it makes sense that I've been losing myself more recently. Now that part of it is over, recovery is over, and decisions don't have to be made anymore. There's not that stuff to focus on, so our brains protect us from hard things when we're not able to deal with them, and then you have to deal with it later. But I'm thinking about that in terms of a lot of things today, that sometimes we put aside our own feelings to be able to get through something, to be able to help someone else. And it's different than bottling. People are like, don't hold it in, don't bottle it up. But survival dictates sometimes that we just put it off until later. And so I want to be present for funeral services. I want to be present to take this milk to another family. And if I have other feelings about it, I have it on my mental calendar to have those feelings afterwards, to honor those feelings at the proper time. And then I get to honor certain other feelings right now, which is that I'm happy that I get to drive in the car with my husband, and it just started raining a little bit, and there's green grass, and traffic is good because people are quarantined, and I'm going to meet a new person. I'm dropping this milk off. I know that it's going to another baby, and so those are feelings that I want to honor. I don't know how I'll feel after we drop the milk off and it's not in my possession anymore. That's a thing that I'm letting go of, and that's a good thing to do, and it's also okay to be sad about it. And I'm really looking forward to the day when I get to nurse a living baby, hopefully a couple living babies. There's some baby cows off the side of the road in a field. I didn't see any of them nursing from their mummies, but it's amazing how we have that in common with other mammals who nourish their young with their own milk. I think that's just one of the very cool things that the female half of the species gets to do, and that bond between mama and baby. So I'm looking forward to that someday. And I don't know if I have any other thoughts right now. Kevin, do you have any other thoughts right now? I read it. There's a good poem that went around, I think around Christmas time, I'm not sure when, about how Mother Mary would have nursed baby Jesus, and it doesn't mention anything about that in the Gospels, but that's what would have happened, and how embodied that kind of love is, and also the embodied form of love that we see in Jesus yesterday, Good Friday, crucified horrifically, died horrifically, embodied. Really, I think that's an important part of our world. It's 12:29. That's baby boy's birth time, a.m. not p.m. But yeah, embodied, and that the women were going to care for Jesus's body with their spices that they used back in that day. Things that we don't talk about enough, things we don't think about enough. Jesus was born just like other babies were born, amniotic fluid and blood and moaning and screaming and crying and all of the things that we go through. That he died the way we die, except hopefully not that horrifically for most of us. He had a body that was beginning to decompose once he died. Thoughts on Holy Saturday, driving to take milk to another baby.